Hey there guys, just went down to Costco today. We do have Costco in Japan, and I found this Mastergrip LED Worklight 2000 lumens. I thought, hey, I could use that, and I'm interested to see inside how it works, so I thought I would show you guys too. So it's a 23 watt, 100 volts, 44 LEDs at 5000 Kelvin, so it's not too blue, but it's a little bit like more like a white before it goes more bluish, a bit more white bluish than what we've got here. Working temperature 0 to 50 degrees, indoor and outdoor. Doesn't have an IP rating. Maybe we'll have it on the actual unit, maybe not, but it looks like it's pretty rugged. 1.8 meter long cord, and it's got a grounded 2-prong plug. Now this is interesting because in Japan they don't have a habit of earthing their outlets. We use the same style outlets as America, the two kind of vertical prongs, but a lot of the time, like 90% of the time, they don't have an earth pin. This is just the way it's done here. I think it's absolutely ridiculous as an electrician. Anyway, let's rip this thing apart, this box apart, and we'll see what's inside. So I'll have to cut the tape. See what we get inside. I think that's all we get in the box. And here's the unit. So there's a the feet on there. They just go underneath. Some assembly required. But that's the actual unit. So it doesn't look too bad, I reckon. I think it's a pretty smart looking unit. Now, is there an IP rating on here? I can't see anything. There's no IP rating. It does have like a little plastic cover on the power switch, which is nice. And it's a cast aluminium with what looks like to be the red is red plastic, but the back is cast aluminium. So yeah, 2000 lumens, 23 watt. Usage for indoor and outdoor, but yeah, I wouldn't go submerging it, but it could probably take a bit of rain. No worries. So let's open it up and see what makes this thing tick. Here we are on the inside. So looking pretty good actually. Not too cheap and Chinese at all. We've got a nice like a closed cell foam rubber seal that seals down onto the glass front, which is actual glass. And we've got the nice M12 nylon gland here, which is, from memory, these are usually about a IP68 rating, so that's nice and waterproof. Not a problem there at all. The only place I can see water's going to get in, if it does, would be through where the switch is, because it's glued into place. Actually, it's been glued in with epoxy, not the usual hot snot, hot melt glue. It's real epoxy, so that's a nice touch. So that's never going to come loose. But the little rubber cover, they put one on there, which is thumbs up for that. But it's just glued down with some Celastic. So if you're switching it over the time, and the Celastic might come unstuck a little bit, that's where the water would go in, I would say. But still, it is glued down with like I said, the Celastic, so it should be pretty good. Now about that earth I was talking about earlier, it turns out the plug isn't grounded. It's just a 2-pin plug. Now in the manual it says it's just a 2-pin plug. So I'm not sure why on the box it says ground, unless in America, where this would have been built for, ground is different from earth. In Australia, with electrical, ground and earth are generally equivalent to the same thing. They go to the actual earth, like into the dirt. The actual power cables, the ones that carry all the current, are known as active and neutral. So when you talk about a ground or an earth, in practice they are slightly different, but that's a whole nother thing for another video. But in reality they basically are the same thing. So it's not grounded. It does have the little boss here, the threaded boss for the earth pin, for the earth wire to connect to. So this can have an earth mains plug put in there, but it hasn't. So it would be nice to see that. Everything is insulated, so it's got the boots on top of the plugs here, so if they come undone they're still going to be insulated. They won't wave around and touch the metal. And the circuit board, the constant current driver board here, is in a plastic carrier with some paper that folds over. This is insulating paper. It'll be rated for a purpose. It's got the plastic on one side, and it's kind of a little bit substantial. But I'll show you the Japanese style of doing things. This is a 2-pin plug with a flying earth. It's terrible. I don't like it at all. Because what happens is everyone plugs their thing in and they never connect the earth. It just dangles. Sometimes they have an alligator clip, so you can just clip it onto the like the screw or whatever on the wall plate. But yeah, optional earths. It's no good. We do have the those NEMA 15Ps or whatever they're called with the earth pin. I use them all over the place in my house because I have earth connections. But yeah, this is the kind of Japanese way, and it's yeah, I don't like it. But yeah, this one doesn't have an earth at all. But it seems like they've taken precautions to prevent the case becoming live. But it would be nice to see that earth, at least the flying lead, just so you got the option. But no big deal. Now the panel here, the black panel, that's our LED panel, and it's got, like I said before, 44 LEDs. And you can see here on the part number, I'll zoom in a little bit on there. It's a ZF UL1003A. That's just a part number of the board. The circuit board for the constant current driver is a UL1003D, I think it is. So it's just an internal part number for the different parts of the unit. But this number 5630, that's actually the size of the LEDs. They're 5630 size. That's a standard surface mount component size. And then -44, because there's 44 of them. You can see the date code there. 2014 is when this PCB was made. So we'll zoom back out. Now, as we move around after the switch, the mains comes in, goes through the switch, and comes to this constant current driver board. So if I'll grab that out, and we can have a bit of a closer look. It's pretty much standard fare. So we've got the incoming on the left-hand side here, active and neutral for white and black. The live is black and neutral is white. We've got a 2 amp fuse straight away. So that's a good thing. We won't have anything burning if there's an overcurrent condition. Then we've got a little MOV and the usual capacitor here. That's like mains protection, surge protection and whatnot. Then it goes through an inductor. I like to see this because this stops any noise from the circuitry here, because this is running at a high frequency, from getting out into the main. So it's just a noise suppression thing. Then we got that little black one just down in there. That's our bridge rectifiers. That's turning the AC into DC. After that, we got some more capacitors. These yellow ones are X-class rated. So that means that they're safe for use at mains voltages. So this will be a bit of high frequency suppression and high frequency ripple rejection and whatnot. After that, we're coming down, we come through this bulk capacitor. It's a 150 microfarad at 100 volts. And then through a common mode choke, which is another nice little touch for a noise rejection. This basically cancels out any noise. Any noise that's common on both the active and the neutral will be cancelled out in there. Hence the name common mode choke. Then it comes out to the to your LED panel. But the constant current circuit, which is this section here, this is working on the neutral side, or the negative side. So we've got a little chip here, which is an MT7873, which is a MAXIC part, and it's a constant current driver used for LEDs and other constant current purposes. But the data sheet actually says it's suited to LED use. So that's going to be using this inductor here, which they've actually put the rating on for once, a 1.07 millihenry inductor, and there's a diode right down just near the end of my finger. So that's using like basically a buck control circuit. It's a buck circuit, dropping the voltage down and controlling the current to the LEDs so they don't burn out. Now, interestingly, on the LED board, we've got a what looks like to be an MOV or a varistor or some sort. That will be probably for surge suppression, surge absorption, so that if there's any kind of surge going on, that absorbs it and doesn't blow the LEDs. You see they've encased it in a bit of heat shrink. The reason you do that is so that if this takes a big hit and it explodes, it basically sacrifices itself to save the rest of the circuit. That heat shrink will contain it so you don't get bits of the MOV all through your device, and you don't get a big spark going on and causing other damage. As I said before, we got the plastic carrier, so that's going to stop any of this these contacts, these solder points from touching the case. So that's looking pretty nice. We'll put it back together now, and I think I will get my light level meter and we'll do a quick test of the output. Right, so I've got my lux meter, my light level meter, and we're reading about 1100 lux, just here as it is now with the light turned off. So I'll measure 1 meter. I'll turn all the lights off, I'll measure 1 meter from the light to the lux meter, and then we'll see what it's giving out. Okay, so we got a reading of 853 lux. That's at 1 meter from the light. Now, to change that to the lumens, which is on the box, 2000 lumens, we're going to need to know the beam angle, and they don't actually specify that at all, so I'm not sure what measurement they would have used. Unfortunately, it's not in the specs at all. Sometimes they do, but in this case, they don't. So it's going to be hard to work out exactly what the real lumens is from this measured value. As the beam angle changes, the value of lux changes. The lumens doesn't. The lumens is the total light output, whereas lux is dependent on the distance and beam angle. So anyway, that's it is very, very bright. I'll actually bring this up here and I'll turn it on and show you. Look at that. Ramping right down for the automatic gain control on the camera, but it is very, very bright. So at the end of the day, this thing's looking like a very nice unit. I'm actually pretty impressed. It's cast well, the circuitry is good inside, the LED panel is good. It's all like ticking boxes. The only thing I'm not too keen on is the fact that there is no earth, but that may be just a regional thing because there's no earth pins, or very few earth pins on the outlets. They had to probably change that plug so that there wasn't an earth plug. But yeah, it's not a big deal to replace it and put a new one in if I was so inclined. But yeah, apart from that one thing, it's actually quite a good unit, especially for the like, what was it, nearly 4,000 yen, about $40 I paid for it. So I'm definitely going to start using this thing. So anyway, I hope that helps you out. Hope you found that interesting. Don't forget we've got Patreon. Keep watching the videos, and as usual, we'll see you next time.